We continue to preview the 2025 college football season. Our stop today is Dillon, Montana, as we get to visit with Coach Ryan Nourse with the Montana Western Bulldogs. Coach, heading into your 12th season, I want to talk about season 11 for just a little bit. I know it's season 10 realistically on the field. We're not counting that COVID year, but still, season 11 with the program as the head coach. 10-2 last year, a fantastic year. 7-1 in Frontier Conference play. You win the outright title. Congratulations on back-to-back Frontier Conference titles, and tell us a little bit about 2024.
Yeah, 2024. I mean, just a great year. You know, we were. I felt like we maximized our potential quite well, and had a good. You know, I had a really good team. You know, we had some outstanding performers and performances, but I think the strength that we've always had, and with that team was its maturity and guys' willingness to play their roles and do what was necessary for the team to have success. So yeah, going through it and looking back on it, you know, it was an awesome year. Great group of guys who were very enjoyable to coach and very selfless.
Coach, let's extend the 24 conversation just for a moment because you made the trip into the postseason once again. You had a first-round bye. Take on Dickinson State then in the second round, and we'll talk about them a little bit later on, but a very tough Dickinson State team. You get the win there. You make it to the quarterfinals, hosting Morningside, up 24-10 at the half, Coach, and the Mustangs have just proven to be a tough team in the playoffs in the past decade plus, and so season ends in the quarterfinals, but again, you make it that far in.
Yeah, that was again. It was great. You know, is really one of the goals that the team had. You know, you have these goals that are kind of up there in the clouds, off of the top of the mountain. You know, you got to take each step in accordance and work that step and that task at hand. The guys did a good job, and then to get there and get a playoff win against Dickinson at home was outstanding. Got a little monkey off of our back, I believe, and then playing Morningside. You know, most of my old mates are still there, which was really awesome to play that. I mean, some of my former players I coached when I was at Morningside were at the game, and yeah, I mean, a couple of guys I coached with, their kids were playing for Morningside, and it was a neat opportunity and good game. One, you know, we really wish we had back. You know, we didn't accomplish the things that were necessary in the second half that we certainly could have. That would have given us a better chance to pull out a win against a really good football team. So great experience, great learning experience, bittersweet overall. You know, when you get that far, you'd like to keep on going, but better team won that day, and we're gonna keep doing what we do, go back to work, and try to improve.
All right, Coach, let's look at 2025 then. It's always fun to preview, and in this case, I would imagine looking ahead, considering the production that the Bulldogs return. I mentioned Michael Palandri, Eli Nourse, Jake Humphrey, stellar in each of those positions, really got a lot of, I think, national attention as well. Your quarterback, your wide receiver, your running back. I know there's a lot more production that's returning too, but kind of a big three right there. Let's start there and talk about your offense.
Yeah, offensively, you know, we're really in pretty good shape. You know, we have, you know, really our biggest performers at the skill positions returning this year, and really along with some really strong leadership from other guys who maybe don't get the press that the other guys do, you know, in terms of numbers. But, you know, John Kirkley will be a junior wide receiver for us as elected captain. And John's really one of the strong points of our offense, especially in terms of just leadership and toughness and doing the right thing. And so having that core back is good. You know, we are replacing many offensive linemen up front, for those guys, multi-year starters, 3 of them, all conference. You know, Marcus Lombard, our center, was a 4-year starter, never missed a play, you know, first team All-American, and was just an incredible player and leader for that unit. But, you know, that offensively where we go is usually how our offensive line goes. I think Eli and Michael and Jake, you know, rely heavily on the success of that unit and for their production and their part of success. But we're really pleased with the development of that unit. Senior tight end Matt Hare. Uh, I mean, he's been a good player for us, rotating with Luke Canijo over the last 3 years and stepped into a really nice leadership role. And he's going to be very productive for us this year. And Sione Haimuli coming back for his third year as a starter at right guard will be a junior. And then, the other guys have been with us for a year or 2 years prepping and getting ready for their time by the end of spring. Sophomore Tyrus McPhee at center was and he was operating at a really high level and accurate calls and good leadership. So we feel good about where we're at with the guys who are coming in. They've developed themselves in the program. It means a lot to them. Getting this opportunity to play full-time roles is super important to them, and I just have strong belief that they're going to step up and they're going to produce. They're going to produce well and put a good product out on the field.
We're visiting now with Coach Ryan Nourse from Montana Western here on Midwest Sports Net, and I encourage you, please like the video. Take the time to subscribe to the channel. We would appreciate that. It does help us here. We enjoy talking about small college sports and more throughout the Midwest and beyond. Coach, as we get into the defensive side of the ball, that's going to take us to something special for Montana Western. Who's going to wear number 18 this year? I'd like you to talk about that. It's going to be your senior linebacker, Jace Fitzgerald. Last season, 81 tackles, 4.5 sacks, an interception, a forced fumble as well. But it's a special thing in Dillon to get to wear number 18 for Montana Western.
Yes, a very special thing. Everybody wants to wear 18, but only one guy gets it. And Jace was an outstanding choice. Jace grew up here in Dillon and went and gave it a shot at Montana State University and just wasn't able to reach his goals of what he wanted to do to play. And he had the courage to come back to his hometown. And he immediately ingratiated himself with our team. The will to work here is really the crux of who we are and why we have as much success as we do. And Jace dove right in as just one of the guys and asking for nothing but an opportunity to go to work and earn whatever he got. And he did that. And for a transfer to come in and make that kind of impact as a human being and as a player is really distinct in our program. And we don't get very many transfers. So for him to do that was pretty special. And Jace is an outstanding leader, and he's a man of integrity and wonderful choice. And we're sure glad he's back again. He's a tackling machine, and he's got great football intelligence. He is around the ball and finding ways to make plays within the schematic just regularly, and have only 1 year in it, a pretty incredible year to be first team all conference and an All-American.
And he's joined in that linebacker core by Keegan Mufich, who is also will be a senior linebacker for you this year. Two of your top three returners in tackles for the defense last year, and a very strong defense. Tell us a little bit more about the defense as a whole.
This was an awesome spring for us. Really last year was Coach Martello, our defensive coordinator, has done an incredible job. We're able to solidify a home base. We really know who we are now on defense, what that home base is going to be, what the tenets and are going to be of the defense, the schematics, and exactly what we're going to be able to rely on each and every week. And, going through the spring, really our defensive backfield was the one area I saw that they took huge strides last year and really solidified those strides with increased growth this spring. And they were competing. We had lots of guys competing to play and to get in those positions to make things happen. out there. So we were really pleased with that. A junior coming up, Romeo Simpson, had just an incredible spring for us, and he was a starter as a freshman last year, a rotate guy, and worked himself back into challenging and being a starter there throughout the spring. And then redshirt freshman Connor Dunley has brought a ton of athleticism and football intelligence to our safety position back there. And then Drew Humphrey had a wonderful spring for us at safety and rotating over at corner. And we have many more guys who are competing in that area as well. So a lot of depth there. That's been a position of struggle for us, low depth and not the level of production that we have an expectation for here. D-line wise was really good too. Tyler Walker and Keepa Sakalia have come such a long ways as leaders on our defense and on our football team, and just who they are has been a really nice thing to see that growth, and they've really stepped up on the D-line area. And then a sophomore for us who rotated in last year, Devin Crow, had an outstanding spring with us. So we lose some good D linemen, but we're also kind of replenishing that with some guys who've been building themselves up with the program as well.
Coach, last year, leading scorer on the team was your kicker, and that was with all the offense that you had. Lots of production there all the way around. John Mears, however, graduates. So how do you fill that role? Who's going to be stepping up?
Well, we've got several guys there. Eddie Deward, this will be his fourth straight years is, coming in as our punter, and Eddie did some really good work for us last year on some kickoffs, and has been our emergency or number 2 kicker for several years, and he's put some really strong work into it as well. And then we got a transfer from Montana State University, McLean Berkeley, who is ultra talented kicker and athlete. We expect McLean to step in and to take 1 or 2, or if not all of our kicking duties if he's able to win that competition. And we have a strong freshman coming in at Tahoma High School and in Washington, Trevin Thorpe, who I know will be coming in to compete and see where he can fit in the mix as well.
All right. Coach, this summer we're trying to get to know our coaches a little bit more, and the get to know you question here for you today is one that has been consistent through the summer. So I'll ask you as well. Favorite 80s song or 80s band?
Well, that's a really tough one out there. There's a lot of them, and I'm a music aficionado. I really enjoy all music, but I would have to say maybe this is a hard one though. But I think maybe Firewoman. I really like that by the Cult. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. So that would be something I would definitely turn on if I want to listen to some hair music.
All right, I love the definition too. Hair music. That definitely was the time. I cannot at this point I can't relate. At the time in the 80s, there was a lot more. I promise.
Joey, I had a glorious mullet. It was incredible, and those days do not exist any longer.
All right, so pictures one of these days, Coach. May have to be off the record, but I'd love to see pictures on that. Okay, finally then, let's get to the schedule in 2025. The Thursday night game to get things going on the road at Montana Tech should be a great matchup there. You get to host a Northern. After that, you got a bye week. Then September 20th, it'll be on the road again at Rocky Mountain. And a new member of the conference. I said we'd come back to Dickinson State. Dickinson State, one of a number of teams coming into the Frontier Conference for 2025. It's going to be a huge conference, Coach, split into divisions as well, adding another automatic bid to the conference, which I'm sure is fantastic from one standpoint there. But then you get to host Dickinson State on the 27th. Your portion of the conference schedule really begins with divisional play on October 4th. And you guys go on the road to Southern Oregon for that Frontier Conference West matchup. And, Coach, all that stuff, that's just the first half of the season.
Didn't sound very easy.
No.
You know the schedule better than I do. I haven't looked past Montana Tech yet. So that's the only thing on my brain right now is to help our guys improve and to beat Tech. The rest of it we'll take each step as they come back. But in the initial perusing of the schedule and looking at it, it's going to be tough. This is going to be a really challenging schedule for us. I mean, we're playing. We play 3-4 ranked teams on the road, I believe, and it's going to be tough. But you play the games that they put in front of you. You should have stretches in your schedule where you're going to find out who you are, what you're made of, what kind of team you're going to be. I believe playing Montana Tech up at Montana Tech will help us initially find out kind of who the 2025 Bulldogs are going to be and what the goods are and what the not so goods are in that matchup. But it'll be a high emotion type of matchup. So some of that will need to be ironed out in the next several weeks after that as well. And the home opener at Northern will be with Northern will be a challenge. I mean, not very many teams are getting under center running the veer, and what that can do to timing, what that can do to your defensive schematic and situational football, and that can be pretty challenging. So as always in the Frontier Conference, there's really no rest for the wicked, and we get the best North Star team to come and be our crossover and play, and we'll take it all on and appreciate it.
All right, Coach, before I let you go, I want to ask really quickly, you're talking about the unique offense there at Northern. How much of a luxury is it for you then to be able to have them early in the schedule so you get to spend a little more time in the summer preparing for something like that? I know it's week 2 and you've already said you've got week 1 on your mind, but is that a bit of a benefit?
We won't even look at anything like that, to be honest with you. I sometimes when you play things that are very unique, and I feel like if you put too much time into it, you run into too many options. And when you play the option, there ain't very many options. So, you need to really solidify the things that you're going to do and defensively, and that's the main thing. And then offensively, you want to, we're going to need to do a good job of putting them behind the sticks, so to speak. We need to score, and we need to make them feel stressed to do things that are outside of what they do running that football to put them in situations that could be compromising. So we'll jump on that when we jump on it, but that's the general gist of plans against teams like that. So really, first things first is Tech. All
right. That didn't mean to put you on the spot on that, Coach, but it's a for real question. There are a few offenses out there, and sometimes they all do present their own challenges. Coach Ryan Nourse, the Montana Western Bulldogs, getting ready for 2025, coming off another great season, a playoff run, and a conference title as well. Coach, it's a privilege always to have you on the channel. We appreciate you stopping by Midwest Sportsnet. We will clearly follow the Bulldogs this season. Thank you again, sir, for your time.
Yeah, thanks for covering us, Joey. It's greatly appreciated, and I know the fans out there and the players and supporters really enjoy the coverage, and we appreciate you guys and what you do for the NAIA and for NAIA football particularly.